and welcome to a rather special Sunday repeated on Wednesday program. And this is
the Mojo Hand, the winning boys magic.
Marge, this ticket doesn't just give me a seat. It also gives me the right, no, the duty to make a complete ass of myself.
But as for me, I'm off to battle aliens on a faraway planet.
Hello, operator. Give me the number for 911.
Who sent you here? Can't talk, little man? Bet can't play none either.
I could pull a better cartoon out of my ear. Hey, whoa! Wasn't that great, kid?
Oh, bitch.
Kill my boss! Do I dare live out the American dream?
Overload. Pleasure overload.
Uh-oh. 2 independent thought alarms in one day.
Hey, good morning, Wood Ticks and Patriots. Welcome to another show on the Just Jim Show, coming at you from the bunker at Lake Wish I Be Gone. Today, we have stuff to talk about, like we have all the time. I'm a little late today, but hey, we had a good night at billiards last night, shooting that little 2 1/4 inch round thing around the table. Anyway, let me turn this down a little bit. There we go. We're going to talk about, of course, how can I not talk about Iowa? You know, everybody's talking about the big numbers and the big kahuna making the numbers. We're going to talk about State Senator Tammy Baldwin today a little bit. Her seat is up for election in Wisconsin. We're going to talk to give you a little bit of information on the 7 retail segments. If you're an investor, and I'm not an investor anymore, but I used to play the day market, what you might want to look for in the going trends in America. State Senator Felskowski. I have a few bones to pick with her, and it's all about the English language. 123 people were arrested for human trafficking. You don't want to not hear about this story. And there's 3, and these are states that you would consider, why would this be going on? We'll talk about that. 3 arrested in a child, 2-year-old, I believe 2-year-old, child that had their hands and feet taped together, and they were discovered by some of the most common, everyday, ordinary people and turned in, which makes them patriots. Obviously, you can't put up with that crap. That's down towards our southern border. And then up on the northern border, a huge, what we call influencer in the PD's department. Pardon my French. I have trouble talking today. I haven't had enough coffee. A law enforcement officers were used to import illegal guns. You just don't want to miss today's show. We got stuff to talk about. And you know, I sometimes swear like a drunken sailor, even though I'm not. So make sure your kiddies have earplugs in. There's our donation button. We'll be right back in a few seconds. Well, welcome back. It's a lovely day. What is today? The 17th, is it? Yes, January 17th, 2024. Wednesday, the day after, they call it Super Tuesday, but I don't know how super it is. And I'm not going to talk about this a whole lot because people say, "Oh, Jim, you're a Trump supporter." No, I am not necessarily that supporter. I'm going to talk about some of the things that are being done in the political arena and some of the things not being done by the parties involved in the Super Tuesday, etc. I just have trouble with it. I can't even put my head around it. Anyway, former President Donald Trump crushed the competition in Iowa, and you know who comes up and just can't not make commentary, negative as all get out, about the situation that's in front of her. Rachel Maddow, in particular, appeared to have trouble processing Trump's success. If you watch any of the major news broadcasts, and I'm assuming that you do, but small conversations on the side, there are people who just don't watch the news anymore, and I don't know if and it's mainstream news media. I just don't know if they are fed up with, well, that's kind of what we're talking about today. She, among other things, she was hyperventilating while she was talking about in a group of leftists covering the Super Tuesday in Iowa. It's while the result left a smile on a 77-year-old Republican's face, it prompted leftist talking heads over at MSNBC to hyperventilate much the same way they did in November 2016. Oh, this can't happen. It's our democracy at stake. Poppycock. And again, don't mark me as a Trump supporter, as a MAGA. Not happening. Longtime exponent of the Russian collusion hoax, not only mongered about the rise of fascism and authoritarianism, but refused to run the Republican frontrunner's victory speech, which is part and parcel of some of the things we talked about. This is an article out of Blaze Media. Give credit where credit is due. The powers that be that run the internet as a backbone, and you know who we're talking about. It's not guys like Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. These are just users of the internet. The people who actually run the internet to give you the bandwidth so that you can stream television programs, internet programs like this, have a very vested interest in maintaining control over what's going on. And there's some of the same people that own the major news networks. You got to understand the whole structure of what it is that you're watching, either over the air. I had a discussion last couple shows about there won't be any over-the-air news anything anymore, and all you're going to get over the air, if you have an antenna on the roof and you listen to your local TV stations, you're going to see reruns. You know, Gomer Pyle, you're going to see Flying Nun. And some of you never knew that nuns flew. I got that firsthand. Anyway, these are the people who pick and choose what gets sent out the door down the internet tube. So the people at the control room at MSNBC decided to not air DT's victory speech. So while they can sit and blah, 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 kind of like a couple of liberal talk shows hosts that we know can blabber on all day long, just not take the feed. Don't give the feed. And hence, yesterday, I got up early in the morning. I was watching a show on the Blaze, and it's the news and why it matters. And every time a question was posed by the group of people, a round table, the answers were not broadcast, and I don't know if it was Blaze Network because of weather conditions, or if it was Pluto TV, which is owned by Paramount, that they were not able, I was not able as a consumer to see the recorded response by politicians about the subject that these people were talking about. And it happened not only once, but I believe 3 or 4 times on yesterday's feed. I've checked my network. It's good. It was good yesterday. So I can't tell you, somewhere between me and the broadcast studios down south, the feed was interrupted. And all I got was this, something like this, just the graphic that the network was putting up instead of playing the programming. So anyways, they have all the blah, blah, cheese bites that they're not going to knowingly broadcast untrue things. This is quote unquote. They refused to run the Republican frontrunner's victory speech, claiming there is a cost to us. Yeah, there is a cost to running these shows. Absolutely, positively. Advertising. You got news, send it in right there. Send it to news@thejustjimshow.com. I'll get it. I'll decipher it. I got tons of information coming in all the time. And if you got something that it doesn't hit, or you read something that nobody else broadcasts, send me a link to it. I'll take a look at it, and I'll air it on the air, which I'm doing today. There's a ton of stories we got that nobody else is covering. I'm dead serious. Yeah. Don't forget, like and subscribe to the Just Jim Show. You'll get a notification every time we go on the air. And if you can't watch it at the time we're live, watch it when it's back up on YouTube. All right, there you go. Like and subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Okay, she says, I have to get to business for a second. At this point, the projected winner in the Iowa caucus has just started giving his victory speech, Maddow reported. Oh, there she is, reporting. Oh, yes. Apparently loath to speak Trump's name even on the set. We'll keep an eye on that as it happens. We'll let you know if there's any news made from that speech. Any news? What's he going to say? Thanks, I won. Blah blah. I mean, it could have been anybody. I don't know if DeSantis would have won, or if what's her face would have won, Nikki Haley. If there would have been commentary on those two people, probably, because Trump would not have been the forerunner or winner. And I can't believe. Have you seen the numbers? I'm sure you have. Maybe you haven't. Over 50% of the caucus voted for him. I'm like, what? That just doesn't happen. You normally have individual races, blah blah. Anyway, and this is not out of spite, she says. Methinks thou dost protest too much. Mainstream media, it's becoming very obvious what the intent is by the major networks. And when was the last time you would think, or years ago, being an old timer, you think MSNBC, what was that? I'm going to broadcast news 24/7. Okay, yeah. It's not a decision that we relish. Yeah, right, Rachel. Yeah. It's a decision that we regularly revisit. And honestly, earnestly, it's not an easy decision. You got to be kidding me, huh? Yeah. After preventing her remaining viewers from hearing firsthand from the 1 and 2 leading presidential candidates going into the 24 election, Maddow suggested Trump might seek to bring about the kind of tyrannical state-first championed in the previous century by disenchanted European socialists. Socialism? Rachel Maddow is talking about socialism or government-controlled? Hang on. You're going to see some of your local legislators and the language that they use, and they wave that flag of, I'm working for you. Poppycock. It's the corporate host told the Biden White House former press secretary and other advocates for the ruling power I don't mean to be, again, it's too dark, as you said on this, but if we're worried about the rise of authoritarianism, I can't talk today. And I didn't even have 2 beers. Interesting. In this country, if we're worried about potential rise of fascism in this country, if we're worried about our democracy falling into an authoritarian and politically potentially fascist form of government, the leader who is trying to do that is part of the equation. Get out of the mouth, and it ain't the mouths of babes. This is somebody who's sitting on a desk making a lot of money, obligatory to many, many financial institutions, spewing this stuff. How can you say we're not a democracy. We are a republic. Somewhere I have the Constitution here. Well, it's right up there in the back. Yeah, right up there, sitting on the back amp. The Constitution of the United States of America. We are a democratic republic, not a democracy. Lordy, I just can't even read this stuff anymore. It's like, why? What's the point? And yet, all of their advertisers. Sorry, I'm throwing that on the floor. Done with it. All of their advertisers, big business, get caught up in this stuff and spew their crap. That's not a swear word. We're getting close, though. That's not a... Anyway, we're talking about Tammy, politicians or politicats. Tammy Baldwin, she is a Wisconsin State Senator, Democrat, hardcore Democrat. If you're into partisan politics, I happen to not be. I can back anybody from any quote-unquote party until they start, as someone said last night, voting strictly on party lines, not being what's good for America and your fellow man. That crosses way too many lines. After Herb Cole passed, we have Tammy Baldwin out there waving the flag. Let's see if I have it here. Do I? Somewhere I do. I don't remember where it is. There. There's a little clip going on here. Tammy Baldwin tweets out, "I'm honored to have had State Senator Herb Cole as a mentor, and I'm proud to be carrying on his legacy." Tammy's seat, for those of you who don't know, has been and I'll say it outright here, Tammy's been a shill for the Democratic Party and those powers that be. We have proof, and I've talked about it on past shows, where her office in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, put out an open repair ticket for their internet connection maybe a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years ago. I don't know. I'll have to dig up the clip and the paperwork. Asking a company that they hire to fix problems, quote unquote, they had an open work order for noisy internet lines. And anybody in the IT business understands the terminology that's used when you have noisy lines. The person that they wanted was somebody with a laptop and a Cat 5 cable to come into that Tammy's office, Democratic Milwaukee office, and plug in and let someone on a remote feed fix noisy lines. There was no security software required. Just show up, plug in, give us a connection, and let us do what it is we need to do on her internet lines. If that doesn't, explained that way, if that doesn't raise some hair on the back of your neck about United States security, here's a DNC person requesting somebody to come in, plug in an open network or a closed network, and open it up and let somebody else in Walla Walla, Washington, wherever the heck it was, futz with the Democratic what's the word I'm looking for? The Democratic connectivity line from her main office to wherever it was that they were trying to find out what they needed to do. If there was a dirty line, it was probably a Sprint line. That's the fiber running into Milwaukee. But anyway, so soon on December 27th, Herb passed. They had a big shindig, and she puts out this big press release about a 24-year serving senator who passed. Many of you know him as a past owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. He should be, and this is her. This Milwaukee Journal Sentinel article. He should be remembered as Wisconsin's best performing statewide election candidate ever. The numbers that he won his election and re-election are astounding. They're not as good as Donald Trump's numbers in Iowa yesterday. But he won 4 state Senate campaigns, 3 of them by landslides. You win some, you lose some. Life tempers you, cold told this person in an interview in 1988 when he ran his first campaign at the age of 53. In an increasingly polarized 50-50 state, Cole won his last election by 38 points. It's about the same as DeSantis, give or take a couple of points. He was 20-something. So, but he's 20-some points short of DT winning let's call it the mega campaign. That stands as the biggest victory margin in a major Wisconsin election, Senate, governor, president, since 1976. They try to break down his accolades, his biography, his persona, his money, and nowhere, and she just latched onto this. Let me go see if this is don't know if you had sorry, just a couple of seconds here, screen through this. But anyway, she tried to latch onto this article with a tweet and a picture of Herb. Saying that I'm proud to be a mentor of his. Well, no, Tammy, you can't hold a stick to Herb. I don't know what your financials are, but I'll bet you they're nothing near what you're claiming to be affiliated with. And some of you people, you may or may not know anything about her services. But what I'm telling you is the truth. I don't think Tammy Baldwin should deserve another term, personal editorial. And I don't see anybody in the conservative world attempting to go after her seat. It's all about the presidential thing. And you better be aware of that when you start going to the polls. You better learn about the candidates trying to run your state and national issues. Couple of people that have not done so well, in my opinion, while they've been elected in office. And it seems to me that the standard swamp status quo is continuing behind the curtain of state assembly people moving into the state Senate, and they're going for a national congressional seat, and they're going for a Senate seat. All of which most are not qualified to do. But that being said, our Constitution is set up to say that an average everyday person should be able to go win a seat in some form of government, local, state, national, with very little knowledge other than personal fortitude, quality in faith, and just go do the business of what the government is supposed to be doing. And there are specific guidelines, but they're so shredded now that nobody can actually put together, this is my job code. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. It's all executive orders, or we'll do something and let the Supreme Court make a decision on it, and that's how we'll run our country, including the border, another issue. And as it turns out in Iowa, again, not to beat a drum, but that's what happened. The major issues are budgets and border security. Two major issues that decided who's doing what in our office, in our elected offices. In the meantime, actually, what do we got? We've been rambling for a couple seconds. I'm going to take another commercial break, and I'll be right back. Stay with us. Here we go. Come on, what's going on? Lordy. It's not working. Nothing's working here today. Why is nothing working? Oh, man.
The president has a big stick. I promise you.
Oh, look at me. I'm making people happy. I'm the magical man from Happy Land in a gumdrop house on Lollipop Lane. Oh, by the way, I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
You don't know what it's like. I'm the one out there every day putting his ass on the line. And I'm not out of order. You're out of order. The whole freaking system is out of order. You want the truth? You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle
the truth. When you reach over and put your hand into a pile of goo, that was your best friend's face. You'll know what to do.
Oh, yeah.
Forget it,
Yes, we
Bart.
do. We all know what to do.
Chinatown.
You have to. You have to get to the polls and vote.
Uh-oh. 2 independent thought alarms in one day.
Anyways, out of Fort Worth, Texas. You know, Texas is a big conservative state that's being inundated with immigrants. They call them immigrants. I call them illegal aliens. But, hey, I'm being politically correct. Here's a story coming out of the Blaze. Thank you, Blaze. You guys go watch that stuff. Pretty good. Beck's got some pretty good stuff happening. Colin Jones says a starving 2-year-old girl found by a maintenance worker bound in duct tape. A 2-year-old bound in duct tape? Are you nuts? Huh? Authorities, after they discovered nonverbal 2-year-old girl tied up with duct tape while fixing a dishwasher. So this is probably an apartment complex. Somebody called in, hey, my dishwasher's not working. Come fix it. According to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, the criminal complaint suggested that the 2-year-old girl had suffered psychological abuse, physical abuse, and neglect. And I'm sorry, I do read a lot of negative stories and report on, give my opinion, but not about a great American word. Yeah, but I just can't see why. I'm assuming the Fort Worth news media reported something on this story. I don't know what it would be. She reportedly had a brain bleed caused by trauma to the head, not a 2-year-old. This is hard for me to read as a parent, grandparent, great-grandparent. The nonverbal toddler was also malnourished and had an injured kidney. Physicians involved with the care of the girl said she may not have made it through the night had she not been discovered by the workers, according to the court documents. Fox News Digital reported that the maintenance workers told authorities that they showed up at an apartment on November 28th to fix a dishwasher. But while repairing the machine, they heard a child crying and soon discovered that a girl lying on the living room floor with her legs duct taped. Workers told authorities the girl was covered up with a blanket, and when they tried to remove it, they discovered that her blah, blah, blah. I missed the printout. The three people who lived at the apartment, the girl's cousin and Perkins' boyfriend, which is a teenager's aunt, were arrested and charged with injury to a child and unlawful restraint of a person under the age of 17, which kind of comes to another story that we're going to talk about. Perkins' defense attorney said she planned to plead not guilty. Of course. Why would you plead guilty? Because she wasn't on the floor. A 2-year-old was not there. These maintenance workers didn't see her. The attorney for Flukers did not respond to Fox News Digital for comment on the case. Said that her 17-year-old client was not appropriately charged. Oh, here we go. Did we get a Miranda right? I don't know. Fluker said he never seen a little girl with duct tape around her ankles. That's one of the people arrested. And adding that he had only seen her hands duct taped. He went on to say the girl would not eat when given food, but would often sneak food. He added that her hands were tied to prevent her from doing so. Excuse me. I'm still recovering from my surgery. 5 other children apparently lived in the apartment and appeared to be in good health. When the authorities presented the photo of the 2-year-old girls, Perkins blamed it on her children. You got that one? Saying they often tied each other up. 2 children were questioned by the authorities, a pair of 6-year-old twins. They both said Perkins and Flukens tied the little girl up because she wastes food. Oh, man. They used to wrap each other up in duct tape. The story goes on and on and on. Not a newsworthy story in any way, shape, or form, is it? Huh? Now, I'm going to make the byline on this one because there's more. That our sources tell us that of all the illegal immigrants coming into America, into my country, your country, 6 out of 10 minors cannot be associated with the adults that brought them in and or will be trafficked. Not a pleasant subject in any way, shape, or form. But if you've seen the movie Sound of Freedom, this makes perfect sense because if you look at the numbers, 305 or 10,000 illegals came in December, of which I don't remember what it was. I think the State Department says, or Homeland Security says they process 10,000 a week, something like that. So 300,000 plus in a month. They're kind of not keeping up with what's going on. Yeah. Anyways, and that story was coming out of Texas. One story. I'll guarantee it. In the scheme of border security and issues of closed borders, immigration, etc., that should be one of many stories that should be told to the mainstream media and should be reporting to you. Rachel Maddow doesn't need to redirect editorial commentary on a matter-of-fact election thing. Excuse me. The local news media should be covering stories like this and followed through the court system, including ramifications, if any, if found guilty, ramifications they say that fit the crime. And yes, abusing a child is a crime. At least it used to be in my country. I don't know about today. But out of blaze again, you gotta be thankful for people who actually do these kinds of stories and aren't afraid to put them out there. I'm looking at my stats here, see if I'm being cut off. 123 people arrested in human trafficking sting in Florida. Got that? Governor DeSantis, and we'll touch on this too, in Florida, including a nurse and a teacher. Remember those people that we give our kids to and our grandchildren to and our great-great-grandchildren to, and supposedly they're supposed to teach our children reading, writing, arithmetic, how to write in cursive, even quality printing. No, if it's on the keyboard, we got to do it electronic, digitally. And we need extra tax dollars in our school district to do it so that the kids know how to go clicky-clack. Yeah. Anyway, over the past 3 months, let me see if I find a graphic here. Children, I don't know if this is it or not. No, not the one. Yeah, this will do. Hang on, I got to do this.
Frederick, about a constant drumbeat of...
This is another story. We'll get to this. Oh, Lordy. Oh, no. Hang on 2 seconds. I got my mixed up here. This is only one. We'll get rid of her. And we just did that. There we go. Let's see if we can get this. Excuse me. Come on. I'm messing with my paperwork here. Let's put this over here. And we'll go back and see if we can talk about this. This is Operation Renewed Hope. I'll put this over here for now. Over the past 3 months, investigations led to the arrest of 123 people. Not one or two, 123. Do you know what your neighbor's doing? You know what your teacher's doing? Among these arrested include a spiritual leader. Oh, let's Bible thump this one to death. A nurse and a teacher, according to WTVT. The name of the 3-month operation is known as Operation Renewed Hope, carried out by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office on human trafficking. Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Cronister said detectives carried out several undercover streetwalker and hotel-motel operations. The operation included online chats. It's a thing called perverted justice. Go look them up. I don't know if they're still around or not, but you'll see in your neighborhood who are the convicted sex offenders and chatters, how to lure your children in online stuff. Cronister has said he decided to conduct the operation through the holidays when children would be out of school and more present online. I wanted to ensure that our children would be protected, those wanting to pay from those wanting to pay for sex and wanting to fuel the sex trade. After authorities, look at these guys. There they are. Look at them. Look at the bums. How do I do this? How do I do this? We'll just make that big. Yeah. How do we do it? There it is. Look at these guys. There they all are. Yep. After the authorities arrested 123 people who were charged with human trafficking and related crimes, he said that a basketball coach, a spiritual leader, and a nurse were involved. Do you get that? All the people that we have put into public positions or private positions are playing with our kids. These are the individuals who betrayed our trust. These suspects know what they're doing is wrong. Even a few of them that were, after they were arrested, and we're seeing the trend, they drop their cell phones off. They take their cell phone somewhere else before they show up to have sex with a young child because they don't want their wife to be able to track where they are. Oh, yeah, look at him right there. There we go, right there. The Fox News Digital reported that human trafficking squad was launched. It successfully arrested, 604 individuals and charged 36 with trafficking-related crimes. What I find even more impressive, quote unquote, is the fact the squad has rescued 28 victims from the grips of human trafficking. That's 28 people who lives were saved thanks to the hard work and dedication of the members on this team. And absolutely, thumbs up. You got it. Again, if you haven't seen the movie, or you haven't seen the movie Border by Chris Berghardt, this is way long time ago. I can't say enough to the people who turn around and stay dedicated to this job, especially with our kids. Jocko Boyan, he's a contributor over at The Blaze, a couple of different shows. He said 6 out of 10 children will be trafficked that have come into the United States on this illegal immigration path. I just, I don't know what to say other than this shit should stop.
And symbolic, serving as a call to action to raise awareness and stand united against the pervasive scourge that is human trafficking. Over the past 90 days, under the moniker of Operation Renewed Hope, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office's Human Trafficking Squad conducted a number of investigative initiatives to combat the insidious crime of human trafficking. We targeted this crime through a multi-pronged approach by conducting undercover streetwalker and hotel and motel operations, along with online chats where our undercover investigators posed as minors available for sex, as well as guardians selling children for sex. Our human trafficking efforts are constant, but as we approach the holiday season where children are out of school and spending much more time online, I wanted to ensure that our children would be protected, and those wanting to pay for sex and fuel the sex trade were not getting a free pass because of the holidays. Today I stand here before you to share the results of our efforts. Over the last 90 days, we arrested 123 individuals who were charged with human trafficking or trafficking-related charges. These 123 arrests transcend mere statistics. They represent our commitment to protect the innocent and our resolute efforts to safeguard the most vulnerable members of our community. We are not merely apprehending wrongdoers. We are ensuring no one falls into the clutches of these criminals who would exploit and inflict harm upon them. In the course of our undercover operations, we have come face to face with individuals from all walks of life, some of who held positions of trust and authority that shockingly included a teacher, a nurse, basketball coach, and a person employed by a spiritual organization. These are individuals who betrayed our trust. During this facet of the operation, these individuals engaged with undercover detectives who were posing as underage girls and boys. And these criminals knowingly sought to engage in sexual acts with each of them. One notable arrest sheds light on the betrayal of trust I just mentioned. A former science teacher at James Elementary, 28-year-old James Villacorteza, an individual entrusted with shaping young minds. Operation Renewed Hope also targeted the driving force behind prostitution, the individuals known as Johns, those who fuel the demand. Our Johns portion of the operation aimed to dismantle the market that coerces many into the heroin world of sex work. This is where we came into contact with Zen Dong, who clearly did not learn his lesson. In May of 2022, he was arrested for traveling to have sex with a minor who turned out to be one of our undercover detectives. He was charged with human trafficking, and at the time you would have thought that this would have been enough to stop him and make him rethink his choices. We were wrong. Detectives arrested him again for soliciting another to commit prostitution. We also focused on the darkest corners where detectives posed as a family member, such as a parent, step-parent, aunt, uncle, who were offering their underage child to have sex with others. The fact that individuals willingly sought such heinous activities despite knowing the children's ages is abhorrent and deserves our collective contempt. Perhaps the most alarming trend our detectives observed was the possession of firearms by some of these individuals. As if the sexual exploitation is not damaging enough, who knows what their true intentions were with the firearms they possessed. To our dedicated team, I extend my deepest gratitude. Thank you for serving as the shield that protects our community from the unimaginable consequences that could unfold if not for your efforts.
And there you have it. This dissertation goes on quite a while longer. It's an 11-minute presentation to John Q. Public. And this goes on while people wave the flag of, oh, I have my state in order, as it were, and off the campaign trail we go. I'm sorry, I have a problem with that. This tells me that the state of Florida is in dire straits, not to be confused with the music. But if, in fact, a person who claims to be a conservative leader leaves and goes to the White House, who stays in Florida and runs it? Obviously, the sheriff would be a prime candidate to be a governor. But as you move further and further away or up the political ladder, you have to leave things behind. And this is something that no matter what you believe politically, that you cannot allow this to continue to happen, because this is our next America. The kids that he's talking about, that these people right here are the ones who are screwing around with our next America. Take a look at them. Maybe they're your friends and your neighbors. It doesn't look quite, this doesn't look like, oh, these are people who, we never see them. Coaches, nurses, even doctors. God, let's take a look at the U.S. Olympic team. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember that quite well. Simone is in Green Bay, Wisconsin with her husband. We just talked about this the other day in our own little circle. How she's been able to overcome and continue to lead her life in a very prosperous manner. I hope to God that she has peace in her soul for all the things that she undertook to get to be the most decorated Olympian in history for the moment. You hear stories, send us an email. Send me an email, news@thejustjimshow.com. I will take a look at it. I've hooked up many local people with connections that I have found in reporting all these stories based on personal issues that have just gone wrong or they don't know what to do. Let me know. I have no problem. But anyway, that's the story, and you need to understand what's going on in your neighborhood and or with your elected officials. End of discussion. And that was, again, that was a, where am I? I got to go, sorry. Oh, here's that news tape on the taping up and beating a 3-year-old.
Tonight, a disturbing case of alleged child abuse. 3 adults accused of tying up a 2-year-old girl, hitting her with a belt, and starving her. Devon Robbing live at the Harris County Jail tonight with this story. Devon?
Well, Lynn, this poor little girl suffered several injuries as well as psychological abuse in the care of 3 adults. Now, Kenry Flukers, Tanisha Perkins, and Maya Bro Magruder are facing felony charges tied to the case. Flukers and Perkins appeared in probable cause court this morning, and tonight we've learned they were arrested after maintenance workers witnessed the little girl taped up with duct tape and injured while responding to a work order at the couple's apartment back in November. Investigators say the little girl is Perkins' relative, and her mother sent her to live with Perkins last fall while she was out of state working. And police say they found a troubling pattern, including claims that Perkins would tape the little girl's feet together so she couldn't get access to the fridge and pantry because she wouldn't eat the food she was given. Authorities say there were 5 other kids living in the apartment who belonged to the couple. They were all in good health, according to CPS, but according to court documents, some of those kids backed up the claims about the adults taping and beating the little girl. Now, another troubling item in this case, listen to the judge describe the claims about how badly this little girl was injured when law enforcement intervened.
It's alleged that the doctor stated if that complainant had not been brought to the hospital when she would have died.
Now, 2 of the suspects are being held here in the Harris County Jail on a $150,000 bond. Meanwhile, a 3rd suspect, also a relative, is set to make an appearance in PC court at any minute now. Back to you.
Okay, so here we're back. That's the news. What is
Tonight's top story: a family caught up in the ghetto.
Stop that one. We got crazy technology going loose this year. I had to have some new software and some new stuff for the show. Anyway, but bear that story in mind. Here's something that is semi-attached to those last 2 stories with our kids having problems. Here, a press release from a local sheriff's office. January 15th, 2024, basically noon. With bitter cold temperatures and very cold wind chills, 10 to 30 below zero, a wind chill advisory is in effect until Tuesday morning, January 16th, 2024. Sheriff's Office Emergency Services have identified the following facilities that are open for business in the event citizens need to seek warmth from the bitter cold. Everybody's cold across the whole top of the United States, even down in Texas. People wearing coats and hats into the production room. Here, the hours below reflected the week of Monday, January 15th to Sunday, January 21st. This would be in the one of the places listed is a Walmart Supercenter. And the hours for warming, that the people can come in and use the facility to stay warm and dry, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Rock on. The YMCA of the Northwoods, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday. Rock on. Walmart Supercenter, another one, from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. There it is, right there. We got them highlighted. Now, you're going to say, what's wrong with that, Jim? I didn't know this, and I know you didn't know this. At 11 p.m., Monday through Sunday, it no longer is cold, so they don't have to have their doors open to warm these people. What can I say? I'm just saying. And at 8 p.m., Monday through Friday, it ceases to be cold, so we don't need a warming shelter. At 2 p.m. on Saturday, it's gorgeous outside. This is the mentality of people in certain communities, and y'all ought to take a look around in your community. While this sounds good, we got warming centers. Sheriff's telling everybody, you can go here and get warm. You go there and get warm. Well, what the hell happens at 11 p.m.? Where do you go? What do you do? What can I say other than there's a bunch of village idiots running the show? I just can't say any plainer than that. Additional after hours resources are available if needed. Got to call. I'm gonna guarantee anybody that is in need of a warming shelter doesn't have a cell phone. There's very few public phones around anymore. Are there? I don't know. But what I'm saying is you need to look at your community. This is local stuff. In your community, you have to be aware of what's going on. So they're not even, I'm telling you on this right here, they're not even listing churches. Some of the churches have warming centers that have beds available. First come, first served usually. There's probably not enough open beds to serve everybody in certain communities. But again, at 8 o'clock, 2 o'clock on 2 o'clock on Saturday, middle of the day. If it's 20 below zero or 2 below zero, where do these people go? What do they do? I suppose they can run over to Walmart. Can't buy anything, but they can go over there and look. This is the mentality of people that are running America. And right down in the next order of business, right here. A state senator on Wednesday, that was last week Wednesday, she testified on my bill. It's her bill. AB 741. Do you know, and this goes across the board in any government, what is a public-private partnership? Huh? I don't know. Question mark. What is a public-private partnership? I'll say it point blank. It's called socialism. The Constitution of America, remember now, right back there, there's the book right there, a couple of them. Government's not supposed to be in business, but a public-private partnership, when you hear that, that means your tax dollars, my tax dollars are going into somebody's pocket in a private entity, not a government agency, nothing else. Here's Bill AB 741 would help local nonprofits. And you're going to bitch at Jim on this one because of what I'm about to say. Local nonprofits. Oh, there's the people that are do-gooders. Wait a minute. We just did a story on 123 people arrested, some of whom were in the local nonprofits. That they want to create, this is State Senator Felskowski in Wisconsin. AB 741 would create a public-private partnership with the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And right here is where you're going to get me. You're going to piss in my pond, or try to. The Dolly Parton Imagination Library has been around since '95. And it's an absolute marvelous program to help with young people with their reading ability, which half the people can't do. They got to go to YouTube and listen to it. They don't know how to read a story, get information. The problem there is that since its inception in 1995, the Dolly Parton Imagination Library has mailed over 150 million books to children under the age of 5. These books are mailed out on a monthly basis at no cost to the family. Good, bad, or indifferent. With this heavy lift, local nonprofits in Wisconsin are interested in signing families up, so they don't even. Come on, give us the reason why we need to go get money. Your tax dollars. That's exactly what this says. That are interested in signing families up are required to share a portion of the cost. So to offset this cost, we invested $500,000 in the budget on an annual basis. So Felskowski has committed to sending $500,000 to this program, which will be given to local nonprofits. You know, some would applaud it. Some will say, oh, you're missing the mark on this one. This ain't her first rodeo. I'm telling you that. If I'm going to give something to a local nonprofit. I know where the church is. I know where the daycare centers are. I'm going to go in and write a check. I hand them some money. I do that every year. I do it. I make the decision to send my money to wherever I want. I don't need some village idiot or court jester to tell me that $500,000 needs to come out of our tax budget to get sent to somebody, and I don't have a clue who that somebody's going to be. The investment will allow these nonprofit groups to get reimbursed up to $10,000 or 50% of their expenditures required to participate in the program. Why are you a nonprofit? Why isn't a nonprofit out there raising money to do this? This is a very worthy cause. I've got no problem with getting books and reading materials into young people's hands. Not at all. But again, not local nonprofits. I'm going to tell you that there are people who will start up a nonprofit, which ain't hard to do, just so they can get into programs like these and take your tax dollars. Absolutely. This is ludicrous, but it's called socialism. And where are we going across the globe in our government? We're going to tell you where to spend we're going to spend your money. As long as you keep paying your taxes, I'm going to tell you where I'm going to spend it. That is not the America that I got brought up in. Not at all. We lend a hand to people who aren't all there or they have a few stumbles in life, some roadblocks. Why is it now our legislators think that this is a God holy offer? Stay the hell out of business. Knock it off. There's a local university here, Nicolet College. Isn't supposed to be on the tax rolls, but by God it is. Once it went on, it never comes off. And you just keep getting the bill. Pay your property taxes. Oh, and the school districts. Oh, we need to build a sports dome. But let's not talk about maintenance of that sports dome. We'll just get a referendum next election. Yeah, this same senator, supposed to be a Republican, conservative state senator, sponsored a bill, not wrote the bull. Yeah, there you go. The bull that says Canadian medical people can enter the United States and work in summer camps regardless of their qualifications, their qualifying medical credentials that the state of Wisconsin or the United States has. Doesn't matter. Whoa, and I asked this, why did you do this? Well, we can't find anybody to work in these summer camps and treat our children. So we'll reach out to Canada. We jokingly made the joke last night in a conversation about this very thing. Just make sure you bring the Labatt's. We'll get everybody drunk. Canadian beer. This is the socialism that's taking hold at a root local level and state level. That's ludicrous. Why does the state have a Department of Education? Wait a minute. The reading program, it's an extra lift up. Dolly, I think, God bless you. It's a great program. I hear you. But, we have a Department of Education in the state. Every state has one. But what do? We go out and grasp at additional money so that we can enter into these private organizational gifts, but we need your tax dollars to do it. This is how America is upside down, right here. These days need to be gone. C'est la vie. Walk away. I'll be right back. You're listening to Just Jim in the Morning. Welcome back to the Just Jim Show. Hey, a little on the lighter side. No, it's not. It's not really on the lighter side, but kind of carrying on this trend of parental oversight, grandparents' oversight. Get up off the couch. Take a vested interest in your kids and your grandkids. It's our tomorrow that's being just blown out the door by village idiots. I'm telling you. On another story coming out of Blaze Media, a pair of adolescents were caught on camera vandalizing a Scottsdale, Arizona charter school by hammering the building with rocks and other items for more than an hour. There they are. Cameras got them. You know, there's cameras everywhere. People don't get it, especially the kids. They only know hit a couple of buttons on the game programmer that they got. Yeah. I'm telling you that for an hour and a half, apparently Base of Scottsdale, a charter school for students in the 5th grade. Or let me see this. You can read the story yourself. School officials told reporters that two boys spent 90 minutes going around the school to break windows and spent more than 10 minutes to get through sections of glass in some instances. Some of the damage was inflicted on lower-level windows of the building, of course, because guess what? They don't want to go up on a second story. They're going to go on the ground floor. Just one more in a series. This is it's just mind-boggling what is going on. And I get it. Moms and dads are working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, just trying to pay the rent bill, the utility bill. And it's tough to watch their children and what they're doing. And some of them get very belligerent. I know a few. And parents and grandparents kind of don't have a clue at times about what the kids are doing. Give them a computer, let them text away, go surf the web. Give them a PlayStation, let them play games, whatever. Just occupy them. And I get it. You need to go make money. I do get it. I do.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Absolutely. It's here's a local boy. You might enjoy this. This is kind of comical, a little on the lighter side. What are we here? Whoopsie. Let's go here. Yeah.
Build Back Better. You've been hearing it a lot these days, mostly from people who get all their news from Facebook and believe everything it says. Well, here at Build Back Better Bank, we know you want the most from your money. That's why this week, if you open a new checking account, we'll give you a hard-boiled egg and a popsicle. That's right. How do we do it? Well, we're building back better. Need a tank of gas to get to your job? We have loans available for that, too, at 3 different huge interest rates. Good grief, holy smokes, and WTF. Plus, check out our new Build Back Better home equity loan so you can afford groceries this week. Only 579% interest, even less if you recently died from murder hornets or monkeypox. Because at Build Back Better Bank, we understand. Build Back Better Bank, where delusional thoughts become reality every day.
So, Pat, you think it's a big deal at all that Lloyd Austin was
no
in intensive care? Right?
No.
There's nothing.
Why should the president of the United States know about that? I mean, there's no reason for him to know that the guy's in intensive care for 4 days. Why would you need to know that?
Hang on just a second. The president doesn't need to know.
No.
Because he's not making the decisions. Let's be, we just have.
Was Barack Obama informed? That's what we need to find out.
Amen. Amen. Now we have two, theaters of war that we're fighting simultaneously in right now. Ukraine and in the Persian Gulf, where I believe.
Hello, operator. Give me the number for 911.
Oh, look at me. I'm making people happy. I'm the magical man from Happy Land in a gumdrop house on Lollipop Lane.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a defender. So God made a patriot. God said, I need somebody willing to sacrifice everything, his fortune, his sacred honor, even his life, for liberty and something called inalienable rights that he cannot see but knows he cannot live without. So God made a patriot. God said, I need somebody willing to ride a horse through sleepy towns in the dark of night, sounding the alarm, entreating neighbors to take up arms against an overwhelming force of wicked tyranny. So God made a patriot. God said, I need someone who, even after crushing defeats, rises up and stands tall. Someone who hears the clarion call that these are the times that try men's souls and does not shrink from the trial. Someone who will cross a frozen river in the dead of winter, when all logic and reason says turn back, abandon hope. So God made a patriot. Then God said, I need a man who knows of the rise and fall of great nations, who knows of human nature and the corrupting influence of power and the fragility of liberty. I need this man, along with his like-minded brethren, to write an enduring constitution. So God made a patriot. God said, I need a person, one person, who's willing to do whatever it takes, even write a book to confront injustice and spark a movement that would tear apart a people so that chains will rightfully be shattered and a blessed union eventually emerge. So God made a patriot. And God said, I need someone who, with the love of family and for the love of country, will cross a vast ocean and storm a heavily fortified beach. And, if he survives, charge through 200 yards of bullets and blood across that merciless beach. And, if he survives, scale the towering cliffs. And, if he survives, begin the long march to free a continent. And, if he survives, return home and, with the same resolute determination, rebuild a nation and someday be called the greatest generation. So God made a patriot. And God said, I need someone who will, without thought of self, invest in schools and scouts and church and community, so that the proposition that all men are created equal remains a beacon to enlighten the world, and that such a beacon shall not perish from the earth. So God made a patriot. And God said, I need someone who will have the courage to not give up her seat on a bus and thus force a nation to confront its deepest divisions and heal the wounds and pursue the dream that inspires all hearts. So God made a patriot. And God said, I need someone strong enough to stand against any enemy, foreign or domestic, that would try to steal the freedom so dearly defended, the rights so righteously upheld, yet gentle enough to help a small child carry a star-spangled flag in a hometown parade. So God made a patriot. Then God said, I need a man who will speak the truth to his own leaders, that in order to preserve our great nation, we will not sacrifice the well-being of future generations for the sake of our own. Someone who will tirelessly toil day upon night, no matter the setback, no thought of surrender. Someone who will prayerfully rise every morning to climb the wall as a defender, duly endowed with the honored gift of generations before, while offering a solemn promise to generations ahead. A defender who will ensure that the way of truth and the torch of liberty remain forever lit in this shining city on a hill. So God made a patriot.